Yo, let me tell you about this drop. This some sexy songs for you joint from PartyNextDoor and the big homie Drake. Forget the charts and all that industry talk for a minute. You gotta understand what this album is, where it came from, and why it's hitting different right now. Picture this. It's Valentine's Day, right? A day when everybody's either flexing a new love or nursing a fresh heartbreak, and OVO drops a soundtrack for the whole mess. It wasn't some loud, arrogant rap album. It was that smooth, hazy, late-night R&B vibe that feels like a confession whispered in the backseat of a dark car. That mood, that atmosphere, is what made this thing a monster from the jump, and now the numbers are just catching up to the feeling. By the way, welcome to Celebrity Hip Hop Showroom, where hip-hop and celebrity drama never sleep, so hit that subscribe button so you never miss the mess. Let's get into it. 8 RIAA certifications? Man, that's not just units moved, that's proof that 1 million people were driving around with that toxic, beautiful music on repeat. It's platinum now, over 1 million equivalent units sold, and for PartyNextDoor, the man who's always been the quiet storm, the architect of OVO's whole emotional sound, that's his first project hitting that platinum mark. The boy, Drake, he's got plaques for days, multi-platinum, diamond sellers, but even for him, this joint album arriving when it did, with all that heat from the streets and the drama still swirling from that whole rap beef, this win was a different kind of sweet. Now, let's talk about the tracks that really locked this down, the ones that went gold, meaning 500,000 people, at least, caught the wave. You got Somebody Loves Me. The title alone sounds like a flex and a plea all at once, that classic OVO contradiction. Then there's Die Trying, a song that's all about the desperation of chasing something you shouldn't, the kind of track you listen to when you're about to make a bad decision you know you'll regret in the morning. Gimme a Hug. That's the one that fools you, sounds sweet, but you know the intentions behind a hug at 2 a.m. are never innocent. Spider-Man Superman, what a title, right? It's that feeling when you try to be the hero for a woman who just wants you to be the villain. Then you get the more atmospheric stuff, Something About You, and CN Tower, that one being a proper Toronto anthem, using the city's skyline as a metaphor for a relationship that's high up but might crash down at any minute. These 6 songs, they weren't just filler, they were the moody, hypnotic core of the album, the tracks that made you feel like you were eavesdropping on some high-stakes, late-night rendezvous. But listen, as much as this was a joint project, there was one song that just blew the whole operation out of the water, a single bullet that hit the roof and kept climbing. That's where Drake's solo number, Nokia, comes into the picture. Forget the gold, this track went 2 times platinum, over 2 million units. 2 million. Think about that. It wasn't even the lead single, but this thing was everywhere. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, which for a track that leans into that electronic, Jersey clubbish sound with that classic Drake croon, it was a whole new level of cultural takeover. The producer, Elkin, who was already on a hot streak, he cooked up a beat that sounded both nostalgic and futuristic, like holding a brick phone in a neon-lit rave. It was a proper moment, especially considering the noise that was surrounding Drake at the time. This was him shaking off the drama and just dropping a certified banger that nobody could ignore. The way he delivered those conversational, raw lyrics about the fast life, the industry pressure, and using the simple image of an old-school phone to talk about loyalty and connections, it just resonated. It's what he does best, taking something simple and making it feel like the most important thing in the world. And the video? Theo Scudra directed it, shot it in IMAX, that huge cinematic quality, but the visual was all black and white, a throwback, featuring that iconic Nokia Snake game. It was a nostalgic masterstroke, a subtle nod to where he came from while showing how far he's taken the whole game. You can try to hate, but you can't deny a record that takes over the world, going viral, making people feel like they're right there in that car meet, carnival-themed party he was throwing on screen. When the dust settled on the first week, the whole thing felt inevitable. Some Sexy Songs for You wasn't just a win, it was a statement. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, moving 246,000 equivalent units in just 7 days. For PartyNextDoor, this was the moment he stepped out of the shadows and got his first official chart topper. For Drake? That's number 14, just another notch on a belt that's already sagging with success. But the real street talk, the real proof came from the streaming numbers. Apple Music confirmed it. This album made history, pulling in the most first-day streams ever for an R&B album. Think about the artists who've dropped R&B joints, the legends, the heavy hitters, and this collaborative project, with its hazy, cyclical, and often hypnotic sound, just shattered the record. It wasn't just about the music, it was about the moment, the timing, the hunger for that specific sound that only these two could deliver. They managed to take the sound they basically invented, the moody, melodic OVO blueprint, and perfect it, making an entire album that was both an indulgent fantasy and a bitter reflection on modern relationships. Every track had that dual feeling, the boastful flex running right up against the deep-seated regret. This wasn't just a studio drop and a fade-out, though. You know the kind of project where the artists just move on to the next thing? Nah, this one had legs and they hit the road to prove it. All summer long, Drake and PartyNextDoor were out there on the $Dollar House 4 UK EU tour. That name alone tells you everything. It wasn't a world tour, it was special shows, curated for the fans who really understood the vibe. They hit up Europe and the UK, and listen, those fans showed up. They were hungry for this specific mix of melancholy and bass-heavy confessionals. The tour was a proper spectacle, not just Drake's usual massive production, but a real partnership, with P&D getting his time to shine in front of massive, arena-sized crowds who knew every single word to his deep cuts. It was more than a performance, it was a victory lap. The stage was set up in a ring, almost like a boxing match, with the artists moving all around the audience, making it feel intimate even with thousands of people screaming. They were performing independently for long stretches, then coming together for those collaborative tracks, creating this back-and-forth dynamic that made the show feel like a conversation between two legends. And if you needed proof of the drama still lingering in the air, the word from the street was that the crowds were chanting F*** Kendrick during the shows, reminding everyone that even in an R&B haze, the rap beef still hung heavy. Drake was there, moving through it, but the subtext was unavoidable. He was winning on his own terms. As the summer ended, the album's story wasn't done yet. In October, PartyNextDoor, who's always been the more visual and mysterious one of the two, dropped the short film. 10 minutes of pure OVO aesthetic, directed by Kid Art, who knows exactly how to capture that moody, neon-soaked street poetry. The short film was the perfect complement to the album, deepening the atmosphere and giving the listeners something to chew on. It wasn't just music videos stitched together, it was a narrative, a full immersion into the world they'd built. It included visuals for tracks like Somebody Loves Me, where you see P&D piloting this remote reality AV car, disconnected but still in control, a perfect visual metaphor for the R&B star's reclusive life. He also dropped visuals for OMW, which had that intense, possessive R&B energy that makes you feel uneasy but completely captivated, and When He's Gone, a track that taps into the pure, aching heartbreak that underlies all the swagger. This short film wasn't about selling more records, it was about solidifying the legacy, turning the album into a piece of art that could live on its own. It reminded everyone that this guy, PartyNextDoor, he's not just a singer, he's a creative director, an atmosphere builder, a man who knows how to craft a vibe so thick you can swim in it. And this whole project, this platinum-certified monster, was a powerful bridge between their bigger moves. For PartyNextDoor, it was the perfect follow-up to his previous work, PartyNextDoor 4, P4, an album that had already been hailed by critics, making the rated R&B's best R&B albums of 2024 list. It showed his consistency, his evolution, proving that he wasn't just Drake's protege, he was a powerhouse in his own right, ready to claim his throne. The collaborative album was him flexing his muscles before the world, getting that platinum and that #1 spot, finally getting the flowers he deserved. As for Drake, Some Sexy Songs 4 U was his first full project since For All the Dogs in 2023, and it was a clever pivot. It was a chance to dive back into that sensual, melancholic R&B bag, the genre where he truly excels and often feels most vulnerable. It was a palate cleanser, a reminder that the man can do more than just rap and beef. It let him cool off the rap world a little, show a different side, all while setting the stage for his next, massive solo move. And what's that move? The streets are buzzing, the labels are prepping, the whole game is holding its breath for his highly anticipated 9th album, the one he's calling Iceman. You know that title is already heavy, carrying the weight of all his recent battles and triumphs. This R&B album with PartyNextDoor was the calm before that next storm, a smooth, seductive victory lap before the Iceman cometh. Everything in their world is calculated, every drop, every certification, every short film. It's all part of the master plan, and if you're paying attention, you know this story is far from over. So, when you see the final tally, the platinum plaque for the album and the 8 certifications stacked up, understand that this is more than just a list of numbers. It's the story of 2 artists, 2 bosses from Toronto, who came together and redefined the sound of a whole season. It's the platinum selling proof that sometimes the quiet storm hits harder than the loudest thunder. It's the moment PartyNextDoor got his first #1 and first platinum, a long-deserved climb. It's Drake adding to his untouchable legacy, using the moment to prove his dominance in every lane, setting up the board for his next world-conquering move. It's the story of Nokia going 2x platinum, a solo track that became a viral phenomenon just because it was a perfect record at the perfect time. The album went #1, made R&B streaming history, and the gold tracks, Somebody Loves Me, Die Trying, Gimme a Hug, Spider-Man Superman, Something About You, and CN Tower, they are the pillars of the mood, the foundation of the sound. This project, this Some Sexy Songs for You, it wasn't just sexy songs. It was a blueprint for how you move the culture, how you win big, and how you keep the people waiting, hungry for whatever you drop next. Now you know the full story behind the plaque. What do you think the Iceman album is going to sound like after a win like this? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.